guys, welcome to Dental Thesis. Here, I will help you in dealing with all the theoretical parts of dentistry. So, firstly, let's start with the topic developmental disturbances of oral cavity. And do like, share, and subscribe my channel. So, in first part of this video, we will deal on the topic developmental disturbances of the jaw. So we have five types of developmental disturbances of the jaws: agnathia, micrognathia, macrognathia, facial hemihypertrophy, and facial hemiatrophy. So now we will get some points on every topic. So agnathia. So agnathia means jaws, and AV indicate the absence. So agnathia means absence of the jaws. So basically, what is more on agnathia? That is, it is a lethal anomaly, है ना? It is a lethal anomaly जिसमें क्या होता है ना? Basically हमारा hypoplasia और मतलब maxilla mandible का या तो hypoplasia हो जाएगा या फिर उसका सीधा absence हो जाएगा. So it is a lethal anomaly which is characterized by the hypoplasia or absence of maxilla or mandible, and here the mode of inheritance is autosomal recessive. Okay, then we can have a agnathia of maxilla or we can have agnathia of mandible. So in agnathia of maxilla, either the maxillary process will be absent or the premaxilla, means the maxilla which are containing the four incisor teeth, that will be absent. Then we comes on agnathia of the mandible. So in this, either the entire mandible of just the one side will be absent, or the condyle of the mandible, or the ramus of the mandible. Ramus is the part through which the condyles and the body of the mandible is attached, right? So they will be absent. Okay, so it can be unilaterally or it can be a bilateral thing. Okay, and in the case of agnathia of mandible, there is abnormally positioned ears, right? So agnathia of mandible is more common than a maxilla. Now, why this agnathia happens? So basically the reason is like in the 4 to 5 weeks of the gestation, what happens is the neural crest mesenchyme cells, they they do not migrate into the maxillary prominence. Okay, so this was all about agnathia. Like first of all, we have deal about what is agnathia. Then we have deal on ki what are in the case of agnathia of maxilla and mandible, what all structures will be absent, and then we have deal about its cause. Then we come to micrognathia. Again, micro means small and gnathia means jaws. Okay, so micrognathia is small jaws. Now it is of two types. One will be true and one will be pseudo. Okay, and true will again of two types: congenital or acquired. Like if we deal on the pseudo, so pseudo is what when we have an illusion of something, right? It's not a true thing, but we have an illusion of that thing. So pseudo agnathia means, pseudo micrognathia means, it is the illusion in which the jaw appears small, right? And we can have three reasons for this, like either because of the abnormal positioning of the jaw, or abnormal relationship of maxilla and mandible, or it can be abnormal relationship of mandible with the skull, right? Now we come to the true micrognathia. So first of all, if we talk about the congenital type, then its etiology is unknown, right? And what and it shows the hereditary pattern, right? So it is and the one syndrome which is associated with it is Pierre-Robin syndrome. Then we comes on its second type, that is acquired type. So it is basically postnatal in origin, right? After the birth it is. Okay, and its etiology is that it can be either due to the trauma or infection or ankylosis in the TMJ area, right? Temporomandibular joint, right? Now we comes to again on maxilla and mandible. So if there will be the micrognathia of maxilla, then there will be the deficiency of the premaxilla, right? Or there can be the middle third of the face, it would be retracted. ठीक है, पीछे के साइड पे होगा थोड़ा सा. एंड पेशेंट शोज माउथ ब्रीथिंग, लाइक वहां पे वो नाक से सांस लेने की बजाय मुंह से सांस लेगा. Then it comes to micrognathia of mandible. So it will also have three features, that are that there will be severe retrusion of the chin, there will be the steep mandibular angle, right, and there would be the deficient chin button. Next slide we come to the macrognathia, right? Macro means large and gnathia means jaws. So macrognathia means large jaws. Now here we can have two conditions, like one condition will be that there are only jaws affected, and which is a more common condition, and second would be that there will be the entire skeleton is enlarged, right? So again, mandible is more commonly affected if we speak in terms of jaws. So mandible is more commonly affected than maxilla, and this macrognathia is associated with three conditions. For example, we can say one is the Paget's disease of bone, right? This is a bone disorder, and in this, basically there is the maxilla and cranium. These two things are enlarged, right? If we come to second condition, that is acromegaly, in this mandible is enlarged, and third condition is our leontiasis osseosa, which is a form of your fibrous dysplasia, which is again a bone disorder. So in this, maxilla will be enlarged. Next, we come to the cause of the mandibular prognathism, right? Prognathism means where the mandible is slightly forward than maxilla, right? So, what is the cause of mandibular prognathism? That maybe the maxilla will be smaller than mandible, right? That's why the mandible is looking as like a forward thing. And secondly, there can be the increased angle, right, between ramus and the body of mandible. The angle can be increased. One more cause can be that there will be increase in the ramus height of the mandible, or there can be increase in the condylar growth of the mandible, or there can be increase in the anterior positioning of the clinoid fossa, or the posterior positioning of the maxilla with respect to cranium, right? And there can be the wearing soft tissue contour. So these all are the causes of mandibular prognathism, and from all these things, the thing which we will see that is that mandible is looking slightly forward, right? That's why we are saying that there is a macrognathia, you can say, of the mandible. Next we come to mandibulofacial dysostosis, or we can say it is a Treacher-Collins syndrome, right? So so the meaning of dystosis is any kind of deformity, right? So there is deformity in mandible, and that too in face, and a mandibulofacial means mandible and face. And the other name for mandibulofacial dystosis is your Treacher-Collins syndrome. So basically it is a genetic disease, right? It is a genetic disease, and which is inherited as an autosomal dominant trait. So here the mode of inheritance is autosomal dominant. ठीक है, and there is no sex predilection. ठीक है, मतलब कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है कि male are more affected or females are more affected. Okay. Then we come to that this genetic disorder mostly affects those structures which are formed from your first and your second pharyngeal arches, grooves and pouches. Okay. Okay, so when I will make the video on the embryology, there I will tell you about, or you have already learned about, what are the pharyngeal arches, grooves and pouches, है ना? These are formed in your intrauterine life. Then we come to the clinical features. So firstly, if we talk about the eye, so there are in eye we have a three characteristic things. That is, one is the anti-mongoloid palpebral features. Antimongoloid palpebral fissure means there will be the down slanting of your eyelids, right? Like you can see in this picture that in this boy, there is somewhat the down slanting of his eyes. Secondly, we come to the coloboma of lower lid. ठीक है, कोलोबोमा मीन्स जो डिस्टेंस होता है ना आपके दोनों आईज के बीच का, दैट गेट्स इंक्रीज्ड. सो बिकॉज योर आईज आर गेटिंग डाउन स्लैंटिंग, द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन योर दीज टू आईज दे हैव स्टार्टेड अ लिटिल बिट इंक्रीजिंग. ठीक है, दैट इज योर कोलोबोमा. Then we come to the third thing is deficiency of eyelashes. Next feature can be there will be the hypoplasia of the facial bones, especially that too of mandible. There will be the malformation of ears, that means there will be the small ears. There will be the high arched palate, and hairline will extend towards the cheek. Okay, and there will be the skeletal deformities all over the body, right? And there will be the salivary gland pathology, means there you can see the aplasia of the salivary gland. Aplasia of the salivary gland means that there will be the absence of the salivary gland, right, which will lead to obviously your dryness and your caries, right, in oral cavity. And next feature can be that face become bird like or fish like, and there will be a parrot beak type of nose. Okay, now how will you treat it? So we have a surgical approach according to severity of deformity, means like what will be the very severe form of deformity, like whether it's related to the face or it's related to your salivary gland or it's related to your eyes and all that. So we need to take a various surgical approach है ना, for every other department. Like we have to deal with the ENT department too, we have to deal with the orthopedic department too because of the skeletal deformities, right? And we have to deal with the eye, mouth, all these things, है ना. Then we come some on the prognosis. So basically their lifespan, the patient lifespan is normal. ठीक है, it do not have impact on their lifespan, so the prognosis is good. Now next we come to facial hemi-hypertrophy. Facial means obviously बात है face. Hemi means the half of the thing and hypertrophy means enlargement. So it is a very rare developmental anomaly, right? It is a very rare thing, and in this we have a asymmetric overgrowth of face. Why? Because we have the one side of the face enlarged. And there will be the enlargement of maxilla plus mandible plus all the soft tissues of the face, right? Now then we come on the thing that etiology. So what is the cause for this? So we can have the vascular or lymphatic abnormalities, or there can be the chromosomal abnormalities, or they can be the CNS disturbances. So these all 3 points, they are the cause of the facial hemi-hypertrophy. Next, we come to the clinical features. So basically, here the female are more affected than the males, and both sides, means your left side and your right side, they are equally affected. Right, now we comes to oral manifestations. So firstly, we will talk about the tongue. So in tongue, we have a unilateral macroglossia, means on one side of your tongue there is the enlargement. Macroglossia means enlarged tongue. So unilateral macroglossia means the one side of the tongue is enlarged. And secondly, there will be enlargement of the lingual papilla, right, which are found on the dorsal surface of the tongue. Then secondly, we come to the teeth. So the teeth affected. So teeth is affected in terms of four things, right? Crown size, root size, shape, and developmental rate. So the teeth which are mostly affected, these are the cuspids. Your cuspids means canines, your premolars or bicuspids, and your first molars. Okay, and there will be early exfoliation of the deciduous teeth and premature eruption of the permanent teeth. Okay, so deciduous teeth बहुत जल्दी गिर जाएंगे और permanent teeth बहुत ही जल्दी निकल जाएंगे. And the buccal mucosa that appears velvety, and it will have a soft folds on that mucosa. We have a soft folds whatever side is affected. ठीक है? And if we come on treatment, so we require cosmetic surgery. And when we will do the cosmetic surgery, when there is the cessation of the growth, when this the growth will be stopped of the one side, then we can have the cosmetic surgery, because the person is looking very much unaesthetic. And that's a very important thing which we deal in our day to day life. Everybody needs to be aesthetically good, right? At least on their features. Now we come to the next topic, that is the facial hemiatrophy. So again, facial means face, hemi means the one side, and atrophy means there will be something which is less, right? Something which is retarded. ठीक है. So facial hemiatrophy means there on the face the one side will be underdeveloped. Okay. The another name for this facial hemiatrophy is your Parry-Romberg syndrome, right? Which is named after, the syndrome is named after the person who discovered it. That is there were two, Parry and Romberg. Now, what is this facial hemiatrophy? So there is it is a slowly progressive atrophy of the soft tissues of one side of the face. Okay, so a it is a atrophy means it is the underdevelopment of the soft tissues of one side of the face, है ना? In which we have the wasting of the subcutaneous fats, and sometimes they can be the underdevelopment or atrophy of your skin, bone, cartilage, and muscle too. Now we come on the etiology. So basically, we have three causes for this. One will be trauma, or there can be the infection, or they can be the localized form of the scleroderma, right? Scleroderma you will deal later on, that it is a type of a skin disorder. Okay. Then we come on the clinical features. So basically, the females, they are more affected than males. Okay, so here there is the female predilection, right? And the left side is more affected than right side, right? We have deal in that facial hemihypertrophy, that there is the both sides are equally affected, but here in facial hemiatrophy the left side is more affected than your right side. Okay. Now we comes on age incidence. So it can develop in first or second decade of life, you know. And the early sign of this syndrome is that we have a painless cleft near the midline of the forehead. Okay, the cleft means we have some kind of groove or depression type of thing in the midline of the forehead. Okay, and then skin also shows hyperpigmentation, and this affects your both soft and your hard tissues. Okay, and hemiatrophy is all about the underdevelopment, right? So there will be small lips, salivary gland, tongue, all the things of the oral cavity, it would be somewhat smaller than normal. Okay, now we come on to the oral manifestations. So there is incomplete root formation. Okay, there is incomplete root formation. ठीक है, एंड देर इज ऑब्वियस सी बात है, अगर आपका रूट फॉर्मेशन थोड़ा इनकम्प्लीट रह जाएगा तो देयर विल बी द डिलेड इरप्शन ऑफ द टीथ, है ना? And there is I've already told you that there are small lip, and there is partial microglossia. ठीक है, that means microglossia means small tongue, है ना? So we have partial microglossia because it is only on the one side of the face. ठीक है, so we have a partial, or you can say a unilateral microglossia. Okay, and there will be the atrophy of the salivary gland too. Then we come on the differential diagnosis. So what all disease can be have a features like this. We have a slight difference, but they can have a feature like this. So these are the hemifacial microsomia, or it can be your golden Haas syndrome. And for this, we don't have any treatment. Okay. Next, we come to the Pierre-Robin syndrome. So basically, it is a congenital defect. A congenital defect means it is a by birth defect in which we have a triad of three things. One is your micrognathia, and a micrognathia of mandible. We have a small mandible. Secondly, we have a glossoptosis. ठीक है. Glossoptosis means retraction of the tongue towards the pharynx. मतलब हमारी जो tongue है वो पीछे की तरफ चली जाएगी, है ना. And there can be the third thing, there can be the cleft palate. That means the palatine shells, okay, which we will deal in embryology, that the palatine shells, they are basically the outgrowths of the maxillary processes from each side, and they come towards midline and they fuse together. So in cleft palate, this fusion is absent, this fusion is defective. Okay, so we have a triad of micrognathia, glossoptosis, and cleft palate. And but instead of micrognathia, we can have a retrognathia. Retrognathia means mandible is not a smaller in size, but it is a retro position, means it is thoda sa back position with respect to your maxilla. Okay. And what all problems the person can face? Because of glossoptosis, there can be because of glossoptosis there can be airway obstruction, right? And because of cleft palate there can be some feeding difficulties through, right? Because of cleft palate we have because of cleft palate it can be there can be the nasal so so primarily our aim is that we have to save the person's life. Okay, so because of airway obstruction the person can lead to death. So our primary aim is to prevent that airway obstruction by, obviously we can do it by surgical means. And then we have obturators for cleft. Okay, in mild cases obturators is something which we use in our dental prosthesis. Okay, it basically covers your any small opening. Okay, so this is the end of the topic. So we have studied about the five five things in developmental disturbances of jaws, which is your agnathia, means there is absence of jaws. Then your micrognathia, means we have the small jaws. Then your macrognathia, means we have the large jaws, है ना. Then we comes to facial hemihypertrophy. That means the one side of the face is your enlarged. And then we comes to facial hemiatrophy. That means your one side of the face is underdeveloped. And there we talk about the two syndromes, right? One is your Treacher-Collins syndrome and one is your Pierre-Robin syndrome. So I hope you understand well in this video, and in description box there is small Q&A session for you guys, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.